No, you have not misread the title. This is a video about our poster boy, Dan Kouzo.
When the Bakugan reboot was launched, one of the most anticipated returns that fans were extremely excited for was for Dragonoid and Dan Kouzo. And rightfully so, they are the main poster boys for the entire Bakugan product. So naturally, when you have a franchise that you splatter one character on in almost all of your products, you would want those characters to return. Though the reboot Dan Kouzo is completely spelled differently, but pronounced the same. English, right? But fans nonetheless were super excited that their favorite Pyrus Fire Dragon user was returning to the new series. Watching the reboot show, I paid attention to Dan Kouzo very carefully, because naturally I would. He's the main poster boy, so why wouldn't I? And it really led me to a conclusion that I think Dan Kouzo is actually a very good main character. Don't believe me?
Well, let's take a look at Dan Kouzo even deeper to try to convince you.
In the reboot, we are introduced to the Awesome Ones, later renamed the Awesome Brawlers in Season 2 going forward. Don't ask me why. They are a group of YouTube stars that do silly things and film themselves doing silly things. The group consists of Dan Kouzo, voiced by Jonah Weinberg, Wynton Styles, voiced by Devin Mack, Leah Venegas is voiced by Margarita Valderrama, Lightning, a dog voiced by Will Bows, and are later joined by the rebooted version of Shun Kazami, voiced by Takun Kim, later voiced by Jamie Jo Gonzaga, and Ajit, voiced by Sharjil Razul. The original Dan Kouzo was voiced by Scott McCord, and when I heard that the rebooted Dan is being voiced by Jonah Weinberg, I was honestly a little skeptical. Jonah's casting as Dan only surprised me because I never actually heard of Jonah Weinberg before he got cast as Dan. I've been a fan of Devin Mack for years, but Jonah was someone I knew little to nothing about. However, after hearing his voice in Dan Kouzo, I actually come to enjoy his performance and think that his casting was a very good one. It's now hard for me to imagine anyone else in that role.
I mean, you really expect me to believe that Scott McCord, who did this,
I'm a battle brawler, I'm not your boyfriend.
can now put that into this?
I'm a battle brawler, I'm not your boyfriend.
But there are a few things that the reboot did tackle right into making Dan Kouzo a very good main character.
And this is one that makes you relate to pretty much any character. One, he's flawed.
What is Dan's character? What's he about? He's optimistic, headstrong, he has an ego, and he's confident, though a little too confident at times, but he still has a decent moral compass. You have your character right there, but the real catch here is, Dan isn't perfect. Nobody's perfect. Dan, like any character should have, has his flaws and his quirks, whether it's him not being good at school, mistreating his friends, or thinking that he's not as good as his friends. Dan is shown that he is not a perfect character. This is the traditional way of writing a hero or character. Present your character with a flaw, and then have them overcome that flaw and emerging victorious.
We could provide aid and access to technology and refuge to those who need it.
If the world found out what we truly are, what we possess, we could lose our way of life.
All of you are wrong to turn your backs on the rest of the world. We let the fear of our discovery stop us from doing what is right.
I'm the only one who can't get his Bakugan to evolve. I'm just holding you all back. So what if we're facing an evolved Bakugan and the odds are against us? That doesn't change a thing. As long as you and I are together, we will always be the strongest pair there is.
Thanks, Dan.
Dan is not a hero that wins all the time and seems like an invincible character. When we first get introduced to him, he loses and doesn't actually know how to battle. But later in that episode, he uses that loss to his advantage to stop A from robbing a restaurant. Dan very often is presented with a character flaw and overcomes it, learning a new lesson and strengthening his character, and that is the key foundation to making your character likable and relatable. Make them see the error of their ways and have them use it as an opportunity to earn their victories. To me, that's why I think Dan is able to connect with the audience a lot, because Dan actually seems like he's a real person. He's someone that does make mistakes and actually does fail, and really just seems like an overall relatable character, because no matter how much power you have, the important lesson that even Dan eventually learns is that they are still the same in the end. He's more like the prime example of the 12-year-old inside us that believes they can do anything, but still have the outlook of a young man who's learning. You can try to make a character all perfect and all powerful, but no character should be above learning a new lesson.
Well, the thing is, Dan not being perfect actually kinda moves me on to my next point. He makes other characters look good.
There's a reason why I think Dan is a good main character, and I don't use the word protagonist. because the story in the series is not primarily focused on just Dan Kouzo. Yes, Dan has the most plot armor, yes, he has all the superpowers and all the tools for the plot, but the show's writing is styled in a way that Dan is not actually a protagonist, but merely a main character while also giving off that he could be our main hero. But the fact is, Dan is part of a team, the Awesome Brawlers. The series is not focused on one particular person. The rebooted Bakugan has episodes that focuses on different characters. There's episodes that are purely Leah, episodes that are purely Lightning, Shun, Winton, Magnus, and even China Riot got her own episode. A lot of the times, Dan is used as a stepping stone for these characters, whether it's proving him wrong or even beating him. There are occasional times Dan is a sacrificial lamb to improving the character of different characters, and with how much Dan is actually featured, it doesn't hurt him in the slightest. Actually, I would argue it makes him even better. And at the end of each season, even though Dan is the one with the Maximus Dragonoid or Infinity Dragonoid, all of those characters all come together for that one final battle, standing beside Dan as an equal. Being able to improve different featured characters by using Dan as a scapegoat while not hurting Dan's character really takes a lot of skill and luck, and in my opinion really is worthy of getting recognition. Making a character win all the time and having them seem like they're such perfect characters can get pretty boring and predictable, but with Dan, I think they really hit the mark with his writing and took advantage of it pretty decently. And honestly, I could actually say the same with the other Awesome Brawlers as well, but that's a topic for another video.
And you know what, in regards to character, this actually makes me lead to my final point, and that is that the show actually has good final challenges for Dan to overcome.
While I could make a video about villains like Philomena, Tico, and Havoc on their own, they actually have a factor into the point I'm trying to make. While Dan has a building up story where he overcomes flaws, the show makes sure that when he does become a little too perfect, they give him Doomsday. Having a very tough villain that Dan has to overcome is part of the main process. Dan overcomes being infected by the V-Virus, Dan overcomes Havoc's brainwashing, so forth and so forth. Even though we so far only got 2 villains as of the time of this recording, they've been pretty great so far because they presented a huge challenge to Dan and the Awesome Brawlers. This is a Doomsday, having a villain too difficult for Superman to beat. The challenge is great not because it was tough for Dan, but it challenged Dan to do the unorthodox. Instead of directly beating the main villain, Dan needs help. In his battle with Tico, he pleads every brawler to share their energy to revive the Maximus armor and beat Tico. Dan inspires others to do their duty and help protect Earth and Vestroia. This is the Super Spirit Bomb method from Dragonball Z, where Goku inspires others to give him energy to throw a Super Spirit Bomb and save the people of Earth from Majin Buu. Or how Dan and the Awesome Brawlers' courage to stand up against Havoc from destroying Earth inspires everyone to join in the fight to help them. While the intention was never to destroy the main opposing villains, I feel like that factor could have been integrated in so that it's not only Dan's strength that you would challenge, it would also challenge his morality. Let's say instead Havoc is too dangerous, so the only way to stop him is destroying him, but Dan would say that he can't do that because destroying people is wrong, so opts to find another way, like trying to change Havoc or having the Mechagons arrest him. That would be really cool, similar to what they did in Avatar: The Last Airbender. Not only would you make that fight suspenseful, you would also make it emotional. But you know what we got was okay, I guess. So now you see my perspective as to why I think Dan Kouzo is a good main character. Dan is not perfect, he starts from the ground and works his way up, he develops everyone around him, and the final villains is where it all comes together. By including all of these, you make a character very relatable and someone you can enjoy watching. It's all of these that makes me enjoy watching Dan Kouzo, and I think that along with Jonah Weinberg's casting and some other small things is what I think that Dan's reboot version is really good. And continuing to watch Bakugan Rising, I'm interested to know where they go from here.
Well, you know what? Those are just my opinions. So what do you guys think of Dan Kouzo? Good? Bad? How would you write Dan Kouzo? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching. Support BakuTalk by pressing the thumbs up and give us a subscribe for more awesome Bakugan content. I've been Haru Ren. Thank God for Rapid Fire. Bye.